Okay, I think we are live and I think we're ready to get going. Today, a lot going on here the central, the south central region of the United States and the southeast, or the, what am I saying? The central southeast. That's weird to say, but a lot of severe weather here across the next 24 something hours, across maybe the next 24 hours. And, um, Anyways, four tornado warnings currently right now across Texas and Louisiana, as really these storms have been popping up everywhere the last few hours, and really these storms have just they're taking a lot of energy from the atmosphere, and it's working out. And even though it's only a enhanced risk, which is 3 out of 5, we're getting every bit of the enhanced risk here today. Um, Let me just get all these settings ready to go live for a while. Um, I don't like that. That looks bad. Okay, so I actually make that a little brighter. That was not my best impressions right there. There we go. Let me just get all this open as to where I can see everything. Yep, there we go. Just making sure everything is working smoothly here before we go for a while here. So now I gotta get all this rotation, or I gotta get all this stuff figured out, but a really strong area of rotation here over Brady, Texas, heading northeast towards Huxley. Real strong storm here. As you can see, we got our classic kidney bean shape here. One thing I want y'all to notice is you got a classic kidney bean shape here, and you also have a little eye right here. And when it comes to things like that eye, that is a very good it's a very good sign of some strong rotation going on in the atmosphere. So let's look at our correlation coefficient here and see what we're looking at. And let's see, we may have a little bit of debris here lofted in the air. Hard to tell, but the way it looks down here is we may actually have a tornado down here by the looks of it on the ground. That's radar indicated. That's radar indicated. Neither one of these are confirmed yet, it looks like. And as we go and look up a little bit farther north near Shreveport, let me get on the Shreveport radar here. Oh yeah, no, we have a tornado down up here though, for sure. But I mean, as we look at these storms off the Shreveport radar, I mean, the rotation looks a lot stronger, especially this one here in the middle. That is a strong area of rotation here, right over Brady and Duff, Texas. Now, this storm up here heading towards Stonewall, Louisiana, right now, basically on the Louisiana Texas line. That is a strong area of rotation here. And just look at that cup right there. That is a strong supercell here just to the southwest of Shreveport, Louisiana. That is amazing. That it's so strong that it's actually, I think, either, hey, can I get confirmation? Can one of my people give me confirmation on if this is radar static right here, or if that is like some legit wind we're getting from this inflow? Because look at that inflow notch. I mean, can someone please confirm that with me? Because just look at that inflow. I wouldn't even be shocked if that was the inflow from this storm. That is a strong hook echo. Oh my. That is a really strong hook echo. Very interesting. We have a donut hole here now. Nice donut hole. So interesting. Debating on what I see from the storm, but that is okay. So we have the classic kidney bean shape here, and then the classic donut hole with this storm up here south of Shreveport. So, with all this said, I'm going to quickly check and see if this is confirmed or not. We've only been live for a few minutes because I just got here. Let me go look at some Twitter to see what I can find. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. I'm currently looking at some Twitter to see if I can find anything on the storm just south of Shreveport. Okay, nothing so far. Nothing I can find. However, okay. So this area over here, Shreveport, I, I, this is a really, really strong storm because we're into the purples here. We're into the purples now for the inflow. The only thing I can say, it doesn't look like a very strong outflow, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So if I can get my correlation coefficient out, we can see if there's any debris being lofted up from the storm. And from the looks of it right now, no, there's no debris being lofted with this storm right now as it heads towards Four Forks, Louisiana, and then eventually up towards Spring Ridge and Stonewall. Now, eventually, if this storm keeps up, it will impact Shreveport, Louisiana, which is something we don't want to see right now. I'm way far down under my camera. Sorry about that. I'm trying to adjust it. Now, of course, we really don't want to see this thing go up near Shreveport, and hit a very populated area. Shreveport's already dodged a bullet today. But just what a storm that we have brewing here in the southeast. Plenty of tornado warnings to go around right now. Actually, only a handful right now. But it's just we've already had a lot of warned storms here today. Um, I've heard several bad tornadoes happen today. I couldn't do anything because I was at school, but now I'm home and I will be home for the rest of this severe weather outbreak. So we'll see how it goes. The storm down here, a little more impressive as I look at it. I'm gonna take a look. Let's look and see how this storm shape is. A normal kidney bean shape with a loose hook here. Could have a storm on the ground, could not. I'm not gonna say anything's on the ground right now. Just the conditions and all. We know how it goes. On days like this, things may look like you would think that there may be a tornado on the ground, but sometimes there's just not one on the ground, and it's kind of weird. That's the type of outbreak we're gonna have here over the next 24 hours or so. It's been happening all day, but as we've seen already today, when a storm gets on the ground, some of these storms take off, and that's really what this storm up near Shreveport looks like it wants to do. That is an insane hook. That is an absolutely insane hook echo up here near Shreveport. And surprisingly, I don't think we have debris in the air yet. I keep looking at Twitter. I'm trying to see what's going on, but that is just act like there's a tornado here. Go ahead and get in your safe spot if you're in Spring Ridge, Preston, Stonewall. This storm could shift any way here very soon. So, let's look at the storm motion here. Let's take a look real quick, see how this thing is formed up in a few frames. I'll take control of it here. So we can see when it was young, not a nice hook here. Very thin hook in this kidney bean shape. But now as we continue on, it really started to ramp up quick. As you can see, the inflow from the storm, wow. You can really see the inflow with these few clouds right here. You can really see how these clouds start really coming into the inflow of the storm. And that's why we're really seeing some strong inflow winds with this storm. That is now going to possibly spin up a tornado here any second. The inflow from this storm is pretty insane. I won't lie, the last two scans have been more impressive than the current scan, but we have a ball here, which is not really something you want to see on radar. Keep looking at the correlation coefficient. Can't tell if there's any debris or not. I'm about to look and see who's Brett Adair currently core punching this storm, and so is Brandon Clement. Not too many storm chasers actually around this storm. Let me turn on. Okay, we do have someone in this. Brad Arnold. Okay, Brad Arnold's in this storm. I'll keep an eye on him. Then we got Brandon Kopic is up to the north of this storm. So I think we will have a lot of chasers on this storm that I can gather data from here shortly. So interesting. Anyways, CC drop. I just got word that we may see a CC drop on this storm, and there we go. This storm is now on the ground. I'm going to say there's a tornado on the ground here just to the southwest of Shreveport, Louisiana. And this is not a small storm. This is not a small tornado either. I think we have a tornado here. It looks like it. That was pretty quick. Let's look and see. Very strong storm here. Interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and look and get on Brandon Kopic's. Not Brandon Kopic. Who is that? Brad Arnold's. I'm gonna go look at Brad Arnold's stream. See what I can learn here from the storm. He's just kind of sitting there. Or he's turning around right now, actually. I'll look at that later. Yeah, no, we have a tornado on the ground here now in just south of Shreveport, Louisiana. Here heading in Four Forks on Four Forks Road, going right up Highway 169 right now. Heading up near Spring Ridge, Louisiana, and then eventually heading towards Shreveport, Louisiana. So, very close to the radar site here. I want to see. I want to see how high in the atmosphere this debris is. Not too high, it looks. It's only there at a tilt 1. It's only there at tilt 1. Only a CC drop in tilt 1. But as we move on, it's still donut hole here in this storm. As this storm is moving really fast. And if I look, it says it's moving at 35 miles an hour, but it's a pretty fast 35 miles an hour, to say the least. So yeah, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Gonna go back and look at Brad Arnold's stream. I think he may have a good view of this here very shortly. It looks like that may have just been a spin up, but there's still debris in the air from this storm, for sure. That was a very quick spin up. But, I mean, the way it looks, I think it may still be going right here up at Four Forks. This storm's moving fast. This storm's moving really fast. Interesting. I think if it's still on the ground, it's right here. And it's heading right towards Spring Ridge here in Louisiana. If I can get a look on the velocity now. Not as impressive as we had a few scans ago. But, I mean, heck, we had a CC drop right here, and that's not an impressive velocity couplet either. Heck, it was more impressive here. And then we had the CC drop. Interesting. That means never look at just the velocity. I think it may have lifted now. I'm not sure. Very interesting. Very interesting turn of events right now. So, it looks like it may have lifted. So, two storms. Okay, so I just got word that these two storms to the south of this maybe getting stronger if I can get a good radar image on it. It's the best we have. Interesting. And a radar hole, sorta. Yeah, these two storms looking impressive down here. Very strong velocity coupling here and here, considering the motion of these storms um and how they are compared to the radar site. Very impressive signatures there, just to the north of San Augustine, Texas. Now let's go back to the Shreveport storm up here, the one heading towards a very populated area. And honestly, what may have made this so strong is these inflow winds are actually, I think these inflow winds that you see right here in this storm, these inflow winds just caused the spin up. That may be just what we saw, because it looks like, excuse me, it looks like the storms may have, or that tornado, that quick spin up may have already dissipated. And it could have just been from how strong the inflow winds were that caused a tornado to form here on the supercell. Because now it really does not look like that we have anything on the ground. I mean, it's possible up here near Spring Ridge, but that could still be some debris falling from the sky here in Spring Ridge. So, I'm going to quickly do a little changing of my color tables real quick. I'm being told that the color table doesn't look good by one of my minions, one of my helpers. It's a joke. Radar settings, color table. Nope. Oh, well, that's because that is storm relative reflectivity that looks so bad. Because I don't think I have high res storm relative. Yeah, I don't have high res storm relative. Yeah, I don't have high res. PDS tornado warning now for Shreveport, Louisiana. Honestly, as I expected, and as I said a little bit ago, that's not surprising. Because this storm, despite the fact that it's not necessarily the most formed together storm, it is still a very strong. It is a very strong storm that is heading right for a very populated area. And looking at the warning, they do think it's still on the ground. Observed tornado, yes, they still think it's on the ground. I have no evidence to back that up currently. Actually, yes, we do. CC drop. PDS. Yes. Oh no, the PDS tornado warning was for the storm to the south of this. This is not a PDS warning up here, but I think we still have a tornado. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Um, looking at all this. Oh, and yeah, no, this is a PDS tornado warning for Shreveport, Louisiana. We had to look back on it for a second, I think. Yeah, no, this is the PDS tornado warning. And it was an observed tornado that we just had a CC drop on the last frame before I had to go. If we look back, I remember seeing a CC drop. Yeah, it was right here. Here's where the CC drop was. It looks like maybe, but that doesn't necessarily, that's not backed up. I thought that was a CC drop. I don't think it is now. It's hard to tell because the radar is not giving us any favor here, and this storm's not giving us any favor either here today. Just a weirdly shaped supercell here. Just look at how unorganized it is. How unorganized the system is. As honestly, it looks like the inflow may be destroying this storm just by how strong the inflow is. But the inflow is just causing the storm to keep spinning up and spinning up and spinning up just because of how strong the inflow winds are up into the storm. So I need to look at another stream here. Let's see, who is this on this? If someone's gonna get it, it's gonna be Brad Arnold. He's right here on 171 here, right next to the storm. Very interesting. But a very unorganized supercell with a PDS tornado warning on it due to the fact that this is about to head into Shreveport, Louisiana. Right into a heavily populated area. So everyone be safe and stay safe. Very interesting here. As compared to what people were calling a bust 2 weeks ago here in the southeast, what people were calling a bust because of the enhanced risk that we had 2 weeks ago here in the southeast. Compared to that, this is definitely living up to, if not going above, what the National Weather Service had predicted for today, which is a moderate risk with a 10% hatched risk and a 10% hatched risk. Which, yeah, we're getting all 10% of that hatched risk today. Very interesting. Look at that. Oh my. Okay, so I have a picture here that I kind of want to bring on. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it on. Here is what we're seeing. This is the Shreveport storm. The storm heading right for Shreveport, and if we look at it, you can see a very low base here, and even just strong rain here around the storm. And I mean, as we can see, it's sunny on the other side of the storm. It's how a supercell works. But this storm very low right here could drop another tornado here in a second. So we'll keep our eyes on it. Very interesting. So that is the Shreveport storm that we're looking at. So, but now it's getting hard to look at on radar just due to the fact that currently the storm is over the radar site. Like, it is over the radar site right now. So it's very hard to see what's going on the storm. So it's hard to tell if there's a storm on the ground right now. It's hard to tell if there's not. And it's making it very hard to know what's going on in this storm. So, we got to quickly take a look at these storms to the south. Strong areas of rotation down here. And still radar indicated storms down here. Now, our eyes focus on this storm up here to the north near Shreveport. Louisiana. Very interesting. So, I'm trying to get some more data on this storm because what we have here on radar is really hard to pick out. But this storm to the north up here, it just caught my eye. The storm up to the north, very strong area of rotation, kind of glitching out the radar right now. I want to just take a look at the correlation coefficient. That's a CC drop. I think that's a CC drop on the storm to the north of Shreveport. I'm gonna double check. That's a CC drop. Can I get confirmation on this CC drop, please? That looks like a CC drop to the north of Shreveport. Am I tweaking out? Yeah, no. Okay, I'm not the only one. I just got word that that is a CC drop up here to the north of Shreveport. Yes, that is a CC drop. That is 100% a CC drop. And I wonder, let's see. That has to be a CC drop just due to the fact nothing was here for a second, and then all of a sudden we have debris here just to the southeast of Sarepta. I don't know how to pronounce that. Just to the northwest of Cotton Valley, Louisiana. If you're in Sarepta, Louisiana, or Shengaloo, please get to your safe spot because this is now a tornado on the ground here, just to the southwest or just to the northwest of Cotton Valley, Louisiana. Definitely a CC drop. It looks like it got stronger in the last few frames. So, it looks like now we do have a tornado here just to the northwest of Cotton Valley, Louisiana. Up here in the very north section of Louisiana. Now, still just a jumbled mess here with this southern storm. Not really much on it right now. As we look farther to the north, though, here north of Shreveport, that CC drop apparently has now fallen away, as it looks like we had another spin up here in Louisiana. It looks like it was definitely a spin up, though. I think that we did have one on the ground here to the northwest of Cotton Valley. It definitely looked like it. And I think we can confirm that just due to the motion it had. Yeah, no, that is if that's not a CC drop, I don't know what is. Because we can look, small area of debris here. Probably some leaves. And then the next frame, looks like it picked up a little bit. Next frame, stuff still in the air, probably falling a little bit. And then next frame, the rest of the stuff coming to the ground. So this is just to the west of Sarepta. I can't pronounce this. To the northwest of Cotton Valley. If you're in Sarepta or Shengaloo, get in your safe spot because this thing can spin up really quickly once again. Am I on the edge of the radar? No, I'm not far from the edge. I am far from the edge of the radar. This is actually probably the best possible. Interesting. So, as this little spin up is still going on, it did look like we had a tornado confirmed up here. Not a lot of people saw that probably, but now this storm here in Shreveport, I mean, I don't see anything. It's hard to tell what's going on when a storm is actually this close to the radar site. But that storm is chugging along very, very fast. And so the storm up near Sarepta, Louisiana, is trying to spin up. Currently no debris, so we can take a look and go back to the high-res reflectivity kidney bean shape here at the very north central part of this warned area. And the warning says tornado warning for Webster Parish and for northeastern Bossier Parish in northwestern Louisiana. Remember, Louisiana has parishes, not counties. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles west of Cotton Valley, or 14 miles south of Springfield, moving east at 30 miles an hour. Now, it was radar indicated, but I do think that we had radar confirmation of a tornado here a few frames ago. Now, if we look at it, not much here. Not much here right now to the south of Cullen. So, just gonna so we look at this. Nothing here for now. I'm trying to get word on on some stuff. On this storm near Shelbyville. Still looking at this Shreveport storm. This storm may actually have something going here. Now that it comes out of the radar hole, it could have something happening here right over downtown Shreveport. I haven't heard any word of anything. I'm actually going to look for something very shortly. Let's see. I got nothing right now on the Shreveport storm. But it looks like it's trying to pick itself back up. So we'll look at that here as soon as I get word on something. Because if we look back at the correlation coefficient, nothing. So I heard this storm back to the south was trying to do something here to the southwest of Mansfield in South Mansfield, Louisiana. And if we take a look at our high-res velocity, very strong couplet right here, and a sort of broad area rotation back here on the northern storm. However, these storms have been impressing me just because of the sheer strength the inflow of these storms have had. Because if we look back at it, we have very strong inflow here for this storm, and very strong inflow here for this storm. And that's what's causing a lot of these spin-ups. And these aren't necessarily weak spin-ups we are seeing either. Because usually when we talk spin-ups, we're talking of a storm that has a tornado warning and may or may not have a tornado on the ground. And the last few spin-ups we've had have definitely had something touch the ground. Like this Shreveport storm had something on the ground earlier. There was no doubt about that. And then this storm up here near Sarepta, it also looked like it definitely had something on the ground in Sarepta, or just to the south of Sarepta, Louisiana. So these storms are really getting their act together here as they cross into Louisiana from Texas. So if we continue on, I want to look at this view of this storm. And it's not as good, but you can just see the reds and the greens here next to each other. Overall rotation in these storms, which is a good sign of a tornado, or of a tornado developing, or rotation developing in a supercell. Now, I need to stop speaking so fast because I'm yawning a lot now. Interesting. Okay. I gotta go back. Gotta look at. Okay, let's take a step back real quick while it doesn't seem like we have anything on the ground here in Louisiana. And just look at the broad picture here. As we look across South Texas and all that's going on around here, I need a good angle of this. We have supercells, or not necessarily supercells yet, but a lot of cells here trying to take on a kidney bean type look. And just a lot of storms trying to mature here in this warm sector here across the south. And the reason why this may be becoming worse than originally intended is because oh Lord, I'm talking too much. Is because this warm sector here, this red line, is moving in quicker than originally thought. And so that warm sector is bringing in all this moisture here in front of this cold front that's going to come through here later into this evening. And it's just allowing more moisture to get into the environment. And that may be what's causing all these storms to really pop off more than expected. Now, not no expert yet, but we'll have to wait and see, because it's showing that if we look at the day 1 tornado risk, Streetport's at the very north part of this hatched risk, which is a 10% or higher chance of a EF2 to EF5 tornado. Streetport's at the north end of this. So if we look, if these storms continue on north, I mean, this could be a wider spread outbreak than originally thought. So I have to keep our eyes on it. Not sure about what's going to go on yet, but as we continue on in this warm front moves to the northeast, we could see storms and supercells and cells just start to develop into Mississippi and into southern Louisiana. And then we would really see this event start to kick off even more than it already has. And all these storms are expected to form here in the south region of Mississippi and Louisiana, and even parts of Alabama. Because if we look at the day 2 tornado outlook, we can see where the hatched risk is, and that's just all of south central Mississippi, southern Alabama, and southern Louisiana. So we'll keep our eyes on it. We'll see what happens and what will happen from there. Not sure. I mean, it looks like they're calling this a stationary boundary down here. So not really a warm sector, not a cold sector down here, but we do have a warm sector coming in, pulling up moisture from the Gulf into this area. And where we could see a lot of these storms is we have a lot of wind coming in from this warm sector, which is pulling. I'll use this as an example. Let's say from the ground level we have these. Let's go with orange. From the ground level we have wind moving here this direction, which makes sense. This is about right. This is about how we have wind coming in. But then this cold front comes through, and this is just a kind of rough explanation. But then this cold sector comes in, bringing in wind this way, which is due east. And then you can see when you have winds like that clashing at different levels of the atmosphere, it's going to really just form some rotation in the atmosphere, which is going to really allow these storms to develop and really allow tornado formation. Whew. So as we look now back towards Shreveport and towards upper Louisiana, not really any strong rotation with the Shreveport storms up there, or the storms near Shreveport. But as we look now towards Mansfield, good areas of rotation down here. Nothing on the ground, which is a good sign. Oh, I'm sorry. But I'm curious about these storms down here, now forming south of Alexandria. I want to turn on the mesoscale and see what the mesoscale is saying. I mean, we have mesoscales all over the place right now. Mesoscale, it's talking about a tornado watch. This one's talking about a tornado watch. Let me guess, this one's talking about a tornado watch. So the mesoscale is not talking about this area down here, but we'll talk about this area down here in a quick second. So I'm going to turn off the mesoscale. And so it looks like the next area where we will start seeing storm development is down here in southern Louisiana. Around this area right here, we're starting to see some little cells pop up. And as soon as we start seeing storms form down here is where we will see the worst sales that we are expecting in the next 24 hours. Because according to the National Weather Service, we're expecting strong tornadoes and tornadoes up here in central Mississippi and central Louisiana. Up around here is where we're expecting some really bad tornadoes. So if we're going to have strong tornadoes, those cells begin to form down here in southern Louisiana and then move into Mississippi and Alabama. That's just how it goes. So as soon as we start seeing cells form down here, that's when we're really going to have to watch what's going on with every single storm. Because this honestly looks like a better environment for storms here in the southeast than we had 2 weeks ago. The environment 2 weeks ago, something happened, and we don't know what, but something happened. And so we're just going to have to wait and see exactly what happens with these next storms. Now, these soundings, I'm just looking at some soundings right now. They look different than 2 weeks ago. The soundings do look different than 2 weeks ago. And not necessarily in a bad way either. Like, the cells look healthy and look like they're moving into healthy conditions. So that's something we'll have to keep looking at. So interesting. I'm just looking for any information on any storms. Interesting. I'm talking to one of my friends who does weather about this situation going on now here in about this situation going on. So anyways, it looks like the conditions are stronger than they were 2 weeks ago, which is very interesting. It's an airport radar. It is a airport radar. Okay. Enough of messing around. Tornado warning has been canceled up here in north of Shreveport, and the one in Shreveport has been canceled. So, and also this one near Mansfield is not looking strong right now. So we may have a short little break before anything else happens. So, I'm just keeping my eye on things right now. Okay, so no storms right now. So since I just got home, I'm gonna actually go for a little bit. I only went live because it looked like we had some stuff really going down near Shreveport. But right now it looks like nothing is coming together right now. So we're just gonna wait it out. I'll come back live here in a few hours. We'll see how it goes. So thank you. Thank you for anyone that showed up. And we'll see you next time here in a few hours.